Another night, another amazing migration moving through North America. Last night, as you'll see in just a moment, again, over 500 million birds in the sky at a given point in time. Over the course of the night, well over 600 million birds moving across North America. This is it. We're in it. And the next 2 nights, it's supposed to get even higher. Stick with us. We've got a lot of migration minutes yet to come until the end of May, when migration starts to slow back down. We've been taking really long, even on these single night events. Last night, I made a 10-minute video, even though it was only focused on one night. So I'm going to talk a lot faster tonight. We're going to go really quickly. So you can see at the peak moment last night, 686 plus million birds in flight at a given moment. Where were they at? Well, pretty much everywhere. The easier places are where weren't they? If you were in Utah, rough night of migration last night. Iowa was missing out. Pennsylvania was missing out. And looks like just that little area, Montana. Little area here in Oklahoma, although those might be just anomalies with the radar. Really hard to say. However, with that many other birds moving around it and it just being a little circle around the radar, I would bet some of those are maybe tied more to radar. It was an amazing night of migration. You get the point. West Coast was active. East Coast was active. From Louisiana all the way up into Indiana and Ohio and Illinois, very active throughout that area. Texas all the way up to North Dakota, highly active night of migration. Doesn't matter where you look, it was a pretty good night for migration, except for a random few locations. So that was last night. Let's look ahead to tonight. Tonight is a moderate night prediction. It's still a good number of birds predicted, but as you can see, the number of birds predicted, we're going well over that for a lot of these nights. Looks like Pacific Coast, going to be very active. Northern Great Plains active. Southeast down into some of the Gulf states. A lot of activity. Even though there are storms moving across the Southeast, there is still a lot of bird movement up because this is the time of year where they just come pouring in. So these birds are coming up. Depending upon where that storm is in the morning, if it blocks the birds who are arriving early to mid-morning, there may be some amazing fallout type conditions along the Gulf Coast. It's all about timing though, and it takes the perfect timing to truly experience a Gulf Coast migratory fallout. It doesn't happen like in the movie The Big Year that regularly, but conditions can create some pretty unique bird watching opportunities down along the Gulf states. If we look at what's happening right now, since I'm recording this so late again, I've been out doing bird conservation stuff all day, getting back into the office to make these. It's late, so birds are already well on the move across pretty much all of North America, and you can see things are going crazy, and we're only a few hours past sunset. The Northern Great Plains are on fire with birds right now. If you live in those areas, it might be a great night to go out and just listen for the gentle flight calls of all the birds moving through that region. So you can see already significant migration, pretty much the entire central part of the US. Let's talk lights out alerts. Where are the lights out alerts? Well, it's everywhere the birds are, but as you can see on this map, really, where aren't the alerts? Central Oklahoma, so it looks like Oklahoma City. You're fine there maybe, though there's a lot moving around you. And then looks like, parts of Michigan and parts of New York and Pennsylvania. Though really this time of year, if you're in those areas, you might as well still just work on getting into the habit of getting lights out during those times or getting lights fixed to help birds during those times. We have not been looking ahead, but since I am getting to these later and later, I am going to look at the lights out alert for tomorrow night to help prepare people to be a little more proactive. So tomorrow night, where are the lights out alerts? Well, you can see up in northern North Dakota, not really necessary. And then much of the Northeast, it looks like there's not a huge demand for lights out. Possibly there's some sort of system moving through that's slowing some of the bird movement in that area. Didn't look at the weather map, didn't have time, but something's happening in this area that is suggesting there's going to be a lesser movement there. but it's still such a highly populated area that getting lights out in that region is going to help even the fewer amounts of birds that are still likely to be moving tomorrow night. Where are the big important areas tomorrow night, though? You can see all the way from the Pacific Northwest, down California, across Nevada, Utah, Colorado, the Desert Southwest, the Central Great Plains, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. So all the big cities in those areas, highly critical for you. So we've got Kansas City right there. We've got St. Louis. We got the Twin Cities up here. I don't know. There's not any huge cities maybe in Wisconsin, but I know there's a conglomerate of medium-sized cities throughout Wisconsin. Obviously, Chicago is going to be a big one. Chicago is one of the biggest offenders of lights out needs, and there's amazing efforts happening there to get the city of Chicago to start doing more for lights out. You can see central Oklahoma City down there, going to need some lights out. That Phoenix and Tucson area down in Arizona, we're going to need some lights out. The whole front range of Utah there, the front range of Colorado. I mean, you can see it's all of the major metropolises basically west of the Appalachians. They're going to need lights out tomorrow night. Okay, so if you live west of, the original 13 colonies, let's say, tomorrow night, lights out. Let's get them out. And then even down into Florida, you can see some lights outs needed down there. It was quick, it was efficient, and it was exciting. Because every night, more and more birds are pouring back into our backyards, into our favorite local parks, into amazing nearby habitat that needs our help more than ever so that our birds continue to have safe places to go. We will see you tomorrow for another Migration Minute. Hopefully not at almost midnight. See you then.